Hey guys, so today's video is going to be just the tip video that I've been talking about doing. I have attempted this video, I can't even tell you how many times, and every time I watch it and try to edit it, I find something that I don't like or it sounded confusing, so hopefully I can get it right this time. I have already pretty much done my entire face, foundation, and everything like that. I didn't think it was important to show that part considering this is just tips for eye makeup. But what I did do was I put on some soft ochre paint pot, which is from MAC. I put that all over my eyelid, and that's a really good flesh tone color for me. It kind of takes care of any redness or veins that are showing through my eyelid. Kind of gives me a clean slate. So what I'm going to start with is a light color, and actually I forgot this step here. This is probably going to be pretty redundant for most of you. I realize that almost every single makeup channel on here does this. A lot of people use the same product that I'm going to use, but a big part of creating an illusion is highlighting the inner corner of your eyelid. So I like to use the NYX pencil. This is the jumbo pencil from NYX, and the color is Milk. And just like everybody else, I like to put this in the inner corner here. So what I do is I just start by putting a little bit in, and then I use a brush to kind of blend it out. For those of you that have eyes that are close together, eyes that appear small, highlighting this inner corner area here will help create the illusion of eyes that aren't so small, eyes that aren't so close together. Now for me, my eyes are not only deep set, but they're small and they're close together. So a lot of the tips that I will share with all of you today will work out perfectly if you have eyes that are deep set, small, close together, or even hooded. Okay, I did want to mention also that I did take some of that white and I did drag it along my lower lash line just at the inner corner here. It's always a good idea to drag that down along the lower lash line as well. Let me zoom in here a little bit. What I'm going to do now is use a lighter color, and this is, just in case anybody's wondering, this is my Smashbox Click Your It palette, and I'm going to just take a flesh tone color, which is this one right here, on a big brush. Now what you'll see here is where I did place that white color, the eyeshadow will naturally be lighter in the inner corner, anywhere that I placed the white. So like I said, I do have a soft ochre paint pot all over my lid, but you can see that the eyeshadow is lighter in the inner corner than the rest of my lid. Now for those of you that have eyes that are deep set, they always say to use a lighter color on your lid. Try not to use a dark color all over your lid, because what that's going to do is make your eyes look even more deep set. Also, if you have eyes that are small or close together, using a dark color all over your lid is just going to make your eyes look smaller, and it won't help with making them look wider apart. So try to avoid using a dark color all over your lid. For those of you that have hooded eyes, you know that once you open your eyes, any color that you put directly on your eyelid, you can't see, because you have that hooded area that kind of comes down. So sticking to a lighter color on your eyelid itself, will help. Also taking the color all the way up to your eyebrow, because that part of your eye where the skin kind of hangs down, you're going to need to have eyeshadow on that part as well. So I have put the light color all over. I put it down here as well. What we're going to do next is place our dark shadow color, and I'm just going to use a brown, keeping the color just to the outer corner here. Now for those of you that are watching that just have eyes that are small, or maybe that are kind of close together, you don't have to worry about your crease, the color getting into your crease. I'm just going to blend this a little bit. But for those of you that have deep set eyes, you realize that this is what happens, and hooded as well. Now when my eyes are open or closed, you can see that dark color. It's no problem, but as soon as I look forward you know, you can barely see the darkness. Now, what you want to avoid is putting dark color into the crease. What that's going to do is just make your eyes look that much more deep set. So for those of you that have hooded eyes and deep set eyes, don't put the dark color in your natural crease. We're going to create a crease here in just a moment. But this part here, for those of you that just have small eyes or eyes that are close together, you can get away with just putting the dark color in this outer area here. Also, you know, if you don't have deep set eyes, you can put the dark into the crease out here and just kind of blend over a little bit. You don't want to take that dark color over too far, because again, that will just kind of close your eyes up and it will make your eyes look a little bit closer together than wider apart. Okay, this next tip is for those of you that have deep set eyes and hooded eyes. So what we need to do is kind of create a crease here. And this tip will go for both. So generally what I do is I keep my eyes open, excuse me, and I take a little brush. Sometimes I use this one from MAC. This is the this is a 239 brush. It's just a medium-sized flat eyeshadow brush. Sometimes I use this. Sometimes I take a brush that's a little bit smaller like this. And occasionally I will use a brush like this. This is actually a crease brush. This is an Ulta crease brush. This is one of my favorite brushes that I like to use to kind of help blend. I feel like I get a lot of control with this brush. But I did want to say, as far as brushes go, that I think it's very important that you find brushes that work for you. Now, the brushes that work for me you may not like, or they may not work for your eye shape, but just very quickly, kind of getting off topic here, I wanted to share something with you guys. A few years ago, I was watching a video from Candy Johnson. Now, for those of you that watch her, you know that she's got humongous eyes. Well, actually, her eyes are deep set, but she has tons and tons of space between her eyelid and her eyebrow. I mean, her eyebrow's like up to here, so she's got a lot of room to play. But she had suggested, I gotta back this out a little bit. She suggested that everybody needs a big fluffy brush. So I went out and I got myself a big fluffy brush. And this is actually the one that I bought. This is my Sephora brush. It's rather large. And if I put this onto my eye, you can see that it takes up a good amount of space. So what ended up happening for me was I started to use this brush and realized very quickly that it did not work out well for me. What ended up happening was the dark color that I put out here ended up into my eyebrow. It's very hard to fix that. Once the dark shadow gets into your eyebrow and gets up into this area here, you can lighten it up a little bit with a flesh tone eyeshadow, or even a powder, like just a regular powder like this. But it's very hard to kind of erase that mistake. So what I suggest is, you know, trial and error. Buy your makeup brushes from a store that will accept returns, and, you know, just find what works for you, because this brush definitely does not work for me. It's too large. Now, for an all over eyelid color, it would work perfect. But for blending out here, I mean, I had to be, because for a while this was the only blending brush I had to be very careful and very precise about my blending. So I would very much suggest finding brushes that work well for you. I mean, this is a crease brush, and I use it to blend my color up here. You know, this is definitely not a traditional blending brush, but it works well for me. So just a little tip for those of you that are having issues with makeup brushes. Alright, so let's zoom back in. So like I said, this next tip is for people who have hooded eyes as well as deep set eyes. So what we're going to do is make our crease. Now for deep set eyes, you know where your crease is. Obviously, you can see it. I mean, you can see how deep this area is on my eye. For those of you with hooded eyes, you know you've got that skin that kind of comes down. So what ends up happening is when you open your eyes, it's just kind of like this straight flap that comes down. So what you need to do is create your crease. So I'm going to take a little bit of that brown color that I just used, and right here is my brow bone. So what I'm going to do is just kind of take this dark color, I'm going to keep my eyes open, take this dark color right up onto my brow bone. And this is why finding the right brush for you will help as far as makeup application and blending goes. So that's where I'm going to put my dark color. Now you can see that it's kind of like midway. Once my eyes are open, it's midway between, let's say, my eyelashes and my eyebrow. So I'm just kind of creating that little crease right there. Now, for those of you that have eyes that are close together, keeping the dark color out as far as you can will help to create the illusion of eyes that are a little more wide apart. And then again, for people with hooded eyes, deep set eyes, this is where you want to put your crease at, out in this area here. Now it does take a little bit of practice. There may be some frustration involved in this process, but keep practicing, because once you get it down, it'll be a snap for you. So I'm going to go ahead and even out both sides, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have both sides evened out, you could very well leave your eyes like this and be completely done. However, for those of you that have been watching my videos for a while, you know that there are two colors that I like to use to kind of brighten up this area right into here. And those are two colors from MAC, Tissue, Weight, and Jest. And when I put them together, it's kind of like a pinky flesh tone color that's got a little bit of frost to it, a little bit of light reflecting properties to it. So what I like to do is add that right into this area, and that really helps to, in my opinion, open my eyes up a little bit more, make them appear just a little bit larger. I really do think that by brightening up shadowed areas on in your eye area, on your eyelid or the socket, it really helps to make your eyes look that much bigger, a little more wide-eyed, maybe not so close together, because like I said earlier, I do have that problem. My eyes do look a little, well, my eyes are naturally closer together than they are further apart. So the more lightening effect that I have in here, the further apart my eyes will look from each other. Okay, for those of you that like to wear eyeshadow along your lower lash line, back this out a little bit. Oops. For those of you that like to wear eyeshadow along your lower lash line, but you're afraid that it's going to close your eyes up a little bit, you can wear it without making your eyes appear smaller or closer together. And all you have to do, just very simply, is keep that color to this outer corner here, as opposed to dragging it all along your lower lash line. I'm going to find a brush here. For this, I like to use a pencil brush, but use whatever brush you're comfortable with. So what I'm going to do is just place that color here into this, just into this outer area. Kind of drag it up a little bit. Just like that. And that will really add to that effect of eyes that are a little bit further apart, not so small. Again, for people with deep set eyes, this is a good idea to keep all that color out here. It kind of lessens that appearance of eyes that are so deep set. For those of you that have hooded eyes, you know, you can do this step as well. Now what I can suggest for those of you that are watching that have hooded eyes and maybe you're struggling, there is a makeup artist here on YouTube. His name is Wayne Goss. The name of his channel is Goss the Makeup Artist. And he specializes in makeup for mature women. He has a woman that he does makeup on quite often. Her name is Mandy, and she has hooded eyes. His tutorials are really easy to follow. They're very simple and to the point, and they're not too long. He doesn't talk too much, and he does a great job of explaining what he's doing. So for those of you that have hooded eyes and are struggling, I would highly suggest checking out Wayne Goss, because he really is very good at what he does. Another step that I would suggest for those of you that are trying to make your eyes look a little bit bigger and not so close set is to use a flesh tone or a white eyeliner along your waterline. Now what's going to happen if you use a dark color is you will definitely close your eyes up if your eyes are small. If you have eyes that are close together, by using any dark color in the inner corner area here will just make your eyes look that much closer together. So I really suggest avoiding using any dark color on your waterline. Now obviously if that is your thing and that's what you like, then by all means do what you like. But this video is more for people who are just looking for ways to kind of counter the eye shape that they have. Because God knows I love wearing dark eyeliner along my waterline. I do it all the time. But it does kind of make my eyes look a little bit smaller than normal. So I'm going to go ahead and use my matte chromographic pencil. This is a flesh tone pencil. It's a multi-use, meaning you can use it on your eyes, your face, and your lips. But you don't have to obviously have the one from MAC. Now, if anybody does want this pencil from MAC, you will have to contact a pro store and order it over the phone, because, or maybe online, but I'm not sure. But I do know that in stores these aren't carried anymore. Okay, so I went ahead and I put the flesh tone color along my waterline, as you can see. And that just kind of helps with that bright-eyed, wide-awake look. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is put some mascara on. But actually, before I get to the mascara, I'm going to go ahead onto this next tip, this next section. Now, I very much like wearing a dark eyeliner and shadow along my lower lash line from kind of like corner to corner. Now again, you know, this does close my eyes up, makes them look a little bit smaller, but it's just something that I really enjoy doing. But I do have a little tip on how to go ahead and wear a dark color, but to still make your eyes look wide open. So what I'm going to do is take that original color that I used in the outer corner here, and I'm going to put that all the way over to my inner corner. I'm not going to take it all the way in because we still want that lightening effect here, so I'm going to take it to right about there. Okay, very quickly before I go forward, I wanted to say, for those of you that don't like wearing dark color from corner to corner, what you would ordinarily do is take that original lid color, the light one that you used, and just place that from the inner corner and meet it up to where you originally put that dark color here in the outer corner. That's what I do when I don't wear it all the way in. So what we're going to do now is take just a little pop of color, and what I'm going to use is my BH Cosmetics Standard Matte Eyeshadow Palette. Try not to blind anybody. And I'm going to take a color that is complementary to brown, because I did use brown along my lower lash line and the outer corner here. So I'm just going to find something that's complementary. And I know that turquoise blue colors are complementary to brown. So I'm going to go ahead and go for a color like that. So I'm going to take this color here, right here. For those of you that have this palette, it's the top row, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth color from the left side of the palette. So I'm going to take an angle brush like this, and I am going to dip it into that color. And I'm going to take this blue color and get it as close to the base of my lashes as possible. And I'm going to put this along the lower lash line. Now, not only is the pop of color pretty, but this helps to keep that kind of like wide-eyed appearance. You know, a lot of people like that wide-awake kind of look. And in my opinion, this just helps to keep that wide-open look to your eyes. Okay, so I went ahead and I put the teal green color, or teal blue. Zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see that. Now if you like, you can put a little bit of that pop of color along your upper lash line as well. But what I would do is just kind of reserve it for the outer corner, and again, get it as close to the base of the lashes as possible. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and put my mascara on. And I do like to wear mascara on my upper and lower lashes. Now, for those of you that are trying to make your eyes look a little bit bigger, I would just put a very light coat of mascara along the lower lashes. But just for me, this is what I like to do. I like to wear tons on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. I very quickly wanted to show you guys how I kind of closed my eyes up a little bit by wearing a dark liner along my lower waterline. I think that my eyes still look larger than they really are, but I really did close them up a lot by using the dark liner along my lower waterline. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys the difference. Okay, so basically we are all done. I think that my eyes still look, you know, larger than normal. They don't look so deep set. they don't look so close together because I did keep this entire area here nice and light and kind of highlighted. What you can do when you're all done is to take a highlight color that you like. Now I like to use Dazzle Light from MAC. It's this color here. And I like to use that on the inner corner. When I'm all done, I just add a little touch of this to the inner corner to keep that area nice and bright, just to kind of help keep my eyes looking a little bit further apart than normal. Especially when you wear your eyeliner or your eyeshadow, the dark color along the lower lash line from corner to corner. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in for you guys. I really think that adding that little pop of color along the lower lash line, it really helps to maintain that appearance of kind of like a wide-eyed look, making your eyes look a little bit bigger than normal. Another thing that I wanted to suggest to you guys as well is for those of you that kind of like transition colors, because I know for me, I like to add a little bit of a transition color in this area right here. Because I'm kind of so light right in this area, you know, and then it kind of goes dark. It's nice to have a nice, kind of like maybe a flesh tone, a little bit more of a darker flesh tone color. So what I like to use is, so these are the two colors that I use from MAC, Tissue Weight and Jest. Those are the colors that I use right in here. Now the two colors that I like to use as my transition colors right in this area are these two, and these are both MAC colors. This one is called Quarry, and this one is Malt. Now today I did use Malt. I kind of skipped that in the video, but after thinking about it, I thought maybe it would be a good idea to share that with you guys. It just kind of helps to transition from that light into that dark. But I used Malt today. Depending on what colors I'm using on my eyes will determine which transition color that I use. Now I do have several that I like to use, not just those two, but because today I kind of went for more of a neutral eye with the brown and the off-white, I felt it best to use a Malt because it's a little bit darker of a flesh tone color for me. So, and then also what I wanted to share with you guys, and you might think this is kind of strange, but this works for me, keeping your eyebrows groomed. Now for me, naturally I have very thick, full eyebrows, and my eyebrows have a tendency to kind of grow in rather far, like I would say to about here naturally, and then they grow down to, you can see that highlighted area. My eyebrows will naturally grow down that far. So what happens is, if I was to let my eyebrows grow and not pluck them, I would have limited space for my eyeshadow. So it's just kind of something to keep in mind. If you have overgrown eyebrows, just kind of thin them out a little bit from the bottom here. Don't narrow them out too much. Well, do what you like. You know, I personally like a fuller eyebrow, so I take from the bottom here, but I don't overdo it. And then also, because I want to create that appearance of eyes that are a little bit further apart from each other, I really do take my eyebrows up quite a bit. Like I said, naturally they grow down to about here. Now when my eyebrows are normally grown into their natural area, that really makes my eyes look closer together than they really are. So by keeping my eyebrows plucked back a little bit further and narrowed out here, I can help create that illusion. I know I keep saying that, but it's the truth. I can help create that look of more lid space and eyes that are further apart from each other. So I hope that this video helped you guys, because I do get questions. I get personal messages from people that are kind of struggling with the shape of their eye, or they're not sure what to do. And I do realize that a lot of this information was redundant. A lot of the makeup channels here on YouTube, they follow these steps, but I kind of wanted to put something all together for you guys, because like I said, I have gotten questions. I have had people request a video of, like, you know, tips and things that I do to make my eyes look bigger than they really are. And I think that with my makeup like this, my eyes do look a lot bigger than they naturally are. Even though I have the dark color from corner to corner, just by adding that brightness, that pop of color, I help to maintain the appearance of eyes that aren't so small and kind of like close together. One more thing that I do like to do, and again, I didn't mention this because it doesn't really have anything to do with making your eyes look bigger or whatever. When I curl my lashes come up, and then I have kind of like that fleshy part of my waterline, my upper waterline showing. So whenever I do wear a flesh toned eyeliner along my lower waterline, I try to just fill in the area, the flesh tone area on my upper waterline that's showing. So I use a waterproof pencil. This is one I have from Stila. It's the Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner, and what I do is I just darken up that flesh tone area along my upper waterline that's showing. I don't go from corner to corner, because if you're not careful, or if you don't use the right kind of eyeliner, you'll get transferred to your lower waterline. So I just use a little bit and just fill in the areas that are showing. So that's just one more tip. But anyway, I hope this was helpful. Like I said, if you guys have any questions for me, obviously leave them, or send me a personal message, you know. And then if you have eyes that are hooded or deep set, if you have eyes that are small or eyes that are close together, and you have a trick or a tip for me, you know, something that you use that helps to, you know, create an illusion on your eye, let me know, because I can, you know, if it's okay with you guys, I can add that into another video. But I just know that these tips work for me. I have people telling me all the time, oh, your eyes aren't deep set, your eyes aren't small. Well, because I make them look the opposite of what they really are. So, alright guys, well, I'm going to end this now because I'm just kind of flapping my jaw. But you guys take care. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.